Hey neighbors, we're back out in Star Trail today checking out a brand new Toll Brothers build job. This one's been a long time coming with COVID delays and everything else you can imagine, but we got sticks in the air. Soon we're gonna have a roof. Let's go check it all out. All right guys, as you can see, the build job, the build site, it's pretty much a mess. So please remember, if you're bringing out the kiddos, if you guys are gonna walk it, or any of you in YouTube land ever walk a construction site, don't just assume that these boards do not have nails in them. They very well could have nails in them, and you do not want to punch through a shoe, especially a kiddo's shoe, with a 16 penny nail. It is not good. So please be very careful when y'all visit build jobs. All right, check it out. Now look, number one, what I want you to scope out is look at these headers. These things are massive. These are actually two boards nailed together. This is what carries a lot of the weight. It's designed to where the forces geometrically come down, they hit this, they telegraph down, they run down into the ground. It distributes the weight, or the load if you will. It is a very, very big board that carries that much weight on a house this large. You will normally see them over the garages. You also see them you'll see them inside the house wherever there's a big span, and usually it's these kind of boards. Woo, this job site is muddy. All right, I gotta get serious for a moment, so I flipped the camera around. You know, I know you don't wanna look at my face, you wanna look at the house, but let me explain something that's going on, what we've seen recently. I recently met one of my wonderful clients out at his build job in Winsong Ranch recently to go over the framing quality, or why is the framing so sloppy with some builders. Right now, new construction is more prevalent than I have ever seen it in almost 20 years. And then plus another 10 or 15 years where I was building my own houses, right, my personal homes before I was an agent. I've never seen this much activity, this many simultaneous build jobs, or this much inventory depleted. So what you're seeing is builders are frantic and they're scrambling to get good quality framers and good quality lumber. If you guys remember, lumber was shut down for a long time. So when you look at a build job that is framed really well today, that means a lot. And they have done a very good job on the framing. The cuts are very clean. The Toll Brothers takes a lot of pride in their homes. Okay, enough of my face. All right, so the Toll Brothers does take a lot of pride in their homes, in the quality in which they work. They really do, I think, a pretty good job on framing. It's not perfect, but it's really pretty good. Typically they've got hangers where they're supposed to have them. They have got clean cuts on their lumber. They order a very clean lumber package. You don't see a lot of knots or crap, pardon my French, in their lumber. So, I mean, just look at that massive beam right there and over here. And then if you go look at the cuts on them, they're very tight, their lumber's pretty straight, and remember, this is not unusual. Having a little gouge or knockout on a 2x4 is not unusual. This is unusual. This right here should be tightened up a bit. That bowing is absolutely unusual for the Toll Brothers to have that sloppy of a joint. But according to other builders, that's acceptable. So overall, the framing on the house, when I've previously walked it before I started filming, is looking great. And it's really refreshing, to be honest with you, because your house can be framed in such a manner that it is stable and it's not a danger, it's not gonna fall down, but it's not clean, if that makes sense. You know, there's a lot of nails that miss, so on and so forth. When these builders are building, they build to get the job done as quickly as possible. So you may see a guy with a nail gun walk up here and go brrrr, like a machine gun, and fire 16 nails to join two 2x4s, and he only hits 2 nails. Well, those 2 nails are all that is required by code to hold those 2x4s together, but you've got like 10 nails that missed and it just looks tacky. So that's what I mean between structurally sound and visually clean and appealing. If you walk this job, you're gonna see that it is very clean. The boards are cut precisely and the framing lines up. The boards are vertical, they're nice, they're tight, they're neat. The quality of lumber is good. I'm giving this a big Texas thumb up. I like it. I think it's looking good, and it's a great start to the house. The other thing that you need to look at when you're building a home is, I always tell folks, you want your concrete foundation to be poured in such a manner that it's like smooth and creamy, right? You don't want to have, like baking a cake, you don't want to have cracks in the top of it. That's not a bad thing. It's just not the best pour. And if you have no cracks, then you're typically not worried at all. But if you have some little cracks, then you've got to find out, are those superficial? And typically they're only about that deep. And you know, your cement's very deep. It's 18 inches in some spots, maybe 24, depending on how they poured it. But if you have very few cracks, you don't need to worry about it. And this foundation is poured very well. You've got this, see this little right here? These things right here are nothing. They do not penetrate. They have no width. I am not concerned about that at all. These little spidering cracks like that are very common. This is a very clean pour. It looks great. Also, if you notice, they're running all thread, which is a state and county code. Then they're doing some adherence here. They're doing some adherence there. They've really knocked this framing and locked it into the foundation, where when we get a tornado or now we don't get tornadoes in this area, especially nothing of force, but we do get shearing winds or high winds. And that's going to resist the home being pulled off the foundation. All of these attachments of the framing just reinforce it, where the home becomes incredibly strong. Look how clean. Sorry guys, I'm geeking out, I know. Look how clean this looks up here. Look how clean the ridges and the rafters and the joists look. I mean, they did a great job on this. See these metal hangers right here? Whenever you've got a beam, right, a joist going across or a beam, you've got to somehow attach that piece of wood. Let me get you in there. That piece of wood to that piece of wood. You could cut this wood a little longer and sit it on top of that, but that's not going to look right for the way the architect designed it. So he wants that to be a seamless join to there. A lot of guys will just nail into it, and that's no good. If you notice, these guys have metal hangers. They've nailed the metal hangers into this beam, and then this guy sits in it like a little cup, and then it's nailed into it. So there's nails everywhere, and that transfers the weight going this way over to that beam, which transfers it to these beams, and then down to the foundation. So, sorry, I'm geeking out. I've had a lot of coffee. I really like this house. I have not seen a framing job or a foundation pour that looks this nice recently for a house this big. And I'm glad, because you guys have waited a long time to get the Toll Brothers to start building your house. We also, man, I don't know. It was a combination of gin, a combination of hard work, and random luck that we even got you guys under contract. I think at the time you guys contracted, Jen had over 1,200 buyers on her waiting list, and she only had like 25 or 30 houses to sell this year. And this, I think this is the same floor plan as the model. I mean, I just walked out here. It's early morning, so I got my jacket on. But just for FYI, for all you guys in YouTube land, typically, the most popular floor plan that a builder builds and what sells out the fastest is the model. And it's very simple. It's human psychology. The model is what you walk through that is beautifully upgraded, beautifully decorated. You fall in love with it, right? That's why it works that way. All right, I got to duck. I'm too old to be ducking. Too old to be ducking. All right, guys. Well, I'm excited, man. As you can tell, I hope all my build jobs are in this good a shape. Jen, to the construction manager, to everybody at Toll Brothers, well done. Good on you. You're doing a great job on it. Keep it up. This is going to be a gorgeous house when it's done, guys. It is going to be very beautiful. And, you know, Toll Brothers builds a good house. They don't ever disappoint, but they're pricey. So when you're paying premium for a house, you want to make sure you get a premium product. All right, guys. As always, I hope God keeps and blesses you, causes his face to shine upon you. Get ready. I got a new part for you, and brings you peace. Take care. See you again.